Hello everyone and welcome back to a new series on my channel. This week we are doing something very different and something that I've never done before on the channel, and this is called Classic Week. Now Classic Week is going to be, so hopefully you're seeing this video on a Monday if you're watching it the day it came out. If not, then don't worry, that's fine. But I'm going to be uploading a video each day on a particular Doctor's era. So for example, today we're looking at Hartnell's era, tomorrow I'll be uploading one of Troughton's era, and all the way to Sunday when we're looking at Sylvester McCoy's era. I would include Paul McGann's, but A, there's not much to talk about, and B, that would kind of ruin the week thing, if you know what I mean. So, like I said, today we're looking at the William Hartnell era, and this is an interesting era of the show because obviously it's the start of the era of the show, and there's quite a lot to talk about. We've got loads of companions to get through. So the way it's going to work is I'm going to be talking about, first of all, the Doctor himself. What do I think of his incarnation? Then his companions, then some of my favourite monsters from this era, then some of my favourite stories from this era, and then some of my least favourite stories from William Hartnell's era. So let's all get started, I think, and let's look at the man himself, William Hartnell. What do I think of William Hartnell's incarnation of the Doctor? I am a big fan of the first Doctor. I think he holds himself in high regard, and he was prone to criticising those who felt were naive or primitive compared to his intellect. However, I think as he got more companions and as his tenure went on, he developed a compassion, warmth and wit that made up for his egocentric nature, and he sort of served as a guardian or a mentor in his final years, and I thought that was really good. I would even probably say that he learned to be a caregiver with a sense of justice in a universe afflicted by evils, and these traits really come out, and I would say he's got a little bit of an arc as he goes along his era. He does start off to be this quite selfish, arrogant character, but then we go on to, I don't know, his final seasons, and he does become quite warm and gentle, and a much more grandfatherly figure, and I really like this about the first Doctor. And obviously he is responsible for where we are today. If William Hartnell hadn't done such an excellent job, we wouldn't be having New Who and all these other Doctors. I probably wouldn't even be sitting here doing this series, of course. So obviously big respect to William Hartnell for that. So yeah, I really like the first Doctor. I don't know if you've seen my Doctor ranking. He's about middle, but obviously he's great and I love him for that. Now we have the companions. So the companions are interesting because obviously there's like 7 of them, well 8 actually, that's me not being able to count. So we'll start off with Susan. Now I'm not a massive fan of Susan, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like she's quite whiny and just a bit bland and annoying in some places. I don't know what it is about Susan, I just find her quite dry and annoying, so sorry, but I wouldn't rate Susan too highly. Barbara and Ian, on the other hand, are just great, aren't they? I love Barbara and I love Ian. They're just very warm, gentle, very, you know, people you'd love as a friend. Just nothing bad at all about them. Just very cool, calm, collected people. Vicky's an interesting one because I would say she's very underrated. Very underrated. I feel like I know most of her stories are missing, sadly, and from what she's in though, I really like her. I love the rescue, and the Space Museum and the chase, and yeah, so Vicky, a good companion. Stephen, a good bit like Ian again, and I love Ian, so I'm bound to love Stephen. Just that very cool male character companion that does well in the show. Nothing bad to say about Stephen at all. Dodo is an interesting one because I know most people hate Dodo, and I can see why. She's a bit annoying. However, I don't know what this is, but I actually really like Dodo. She's just a bit of, she's a laugh, isn't she? I mean, I don't know if she's meant to be, but she makes me laugh, and Dodo, I love Dodo, I'm sorry. I love the gunfighters, the war machines, the Ark, and I wish we saw some more of her, maybe in Big Finish or something, but yeah, she's great. And Ben and Polly, what can I say about Ben and Polly? They're just awesome, aren't they? But I think we're going to be getting to them in more detail in tomorrow's episode, so if you want to hear my thoughts on Ben and Polly, tune in. Then we have my favourite monsters from the fourth Doctor's era? The first Doctor's era. And this was quite tough because the first Doctor has good villains, even though maybe the budget wasn't on their side. We have the Vord, which are from the Keys of Marinus. Love the Vord. I've just finished listening to a Big Finish called Domain of the Vord, and that is very interesting. So if you're a fan of the Vord, go check that out. The Daleks, of course. I mean, how can you not love the Daleks? They're just so creepy, so cool. Just a typical awesome Doctor Who villain, and the most famous, I'd argue. The Sensorites are interesting because I'd have loved to see them be related to the Ood in some way, because they do have similar aspects, I suppose, but they're really cool. The Monoids, they just look really creepy, I think, but they're so cool. I don't know if anyone's watched The Ark, but The Ark is a great story, and their storyline is great too. And of course the War Machines. How can you not love the War Machines? Look at them. That is the War Machines. So yeah, I would argue that the Fourth Doctor had some... I keep saying the Fourth Doctor, I need to stop doing this. The First Doctor had some amazing villains. Now, some of my favourite stories from the William Hartnell era are as follows. The Keys of Marinus is a massive highlight for me. It's got this... It's a bit like the mini Key to Time compressed into one sort of big story, and it's just great. I love it. It's so wacky. It was the first 60s story I ever saw, so maybe that's a reason why I like it so much. The War Machines, again, are just so ahead of its time. I believe it was going to be called The Computers or something like that, which now you would think, oh, a bit of a boring title, but for 1966 that would have been really fascinating. Planet of Giants is an underrated one, I think. It's nothing amazing, but it's definitely a really fun three-parter. And the Aztecs, oh, I love the Aztecs, really do. Just a brilliant pure historical. Now going on to my least favourite stories of the William Hartnell era now. First of all, this might be controversial, but I've got the Time Meddler. I don't think I've ever made it through the Time Meddler. I don't know what it is. I just find it really boring and dull, and I always just go to sleep when watching it. I don't know what it is. It's really annoying because I really want to like it, but I just can't. The Web Planet, it's just too long. It has some cool concepts, but you can't take it seriously. And Galaxy 4, I know obviously that's not a proper story, but from the reconstructions and the stuff that I've seen of it and the target book, it just doesn't capture me at all. Just dull, and I just want to switch off, and that's never one I'm probably gonna reach for if we ever get it in DVD, even though I will get it if it gets on DVD because completist reasons. So I know that was very quick, but these videos are meant to be quite short and snappy, and you can just watch them in a 10-minute break or whatever, so I'm not going to be going into much detail as you can probably tell. But that was my overall thoughts on the William Hartnell era. I think that William Hartnell did a great job at kicking off the show, and he's so unlike any other Doctor, but I feel like the other Doctors are similar to him, but obviously he had no one to go off, so big respect to William Hartnell for that. I love the Vord, I love the Keys of Marinus, I love Dodo. So yeah, I've got some interesting opinions in there. So I want to thank you all very much for watching this video. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow for the Patrick Troughton era and the following days, and so on. So I want to thank you all very much for watching. Be sure to give this video a like, because I have gone into a little bit of effort putting these slides together, etc. And comment down below, what are your thoughts on the William Hartnell era? So I'll see you in the next video, everyone, and goodbye for now.